Hello and welcome to our Developing Economies project surrounding Egypt and North Korea by Nick, Derek, Preston, Arnav, and Shreyes. Today we'll be comparing and contrasting Egypt and North Korea through an economic lens, addressing their different governance, infrastructure, education, and overall economic development. By the end of this presentation, we will have hoped to answer the three main questions, which are: which country should the US government provide foreign aid to? Which country will grow more economically in the next 50 years? In which area should each country focus on to promote growth and development? Let's begin with an overview of each of the country's political and economic contexts. Egypt, facts and basic information. Egypt is strategically located in North Africa, where it is a vital transit point for global shipping, as the Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea and facilitates international trade. The country's geographical positioning makes it an important bridge between Africa and the Middle East, as trade, politics, and culture flow through across these regions. Its access to major trade routes give Egypt a competitive advantage in international commerce. Egypt is the most populous country in the Arab world, with a population of over 100 million people. Cairo, the capital, is the largest city in the Arab world, with over 20 million inhabitants. Overall, the population is rapidly growing, which puts much pressure on the country's limited resources, infrastructure, and public services. Much of the population is concentrated along the Nile River due to Egypt's harsh desert environment, which creates many regional disparities between urban and rural areas. Egypt operates as a semi-presidential republic. However, the system is largely military influenced. The president holds significant power and has considerable control over the executive and legislative branches of the country. The current president, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, has been harshly criticized for his human rights abuses, authoritarian practices, and suppression of political oppositions. Egypt is currently classified as a lower middle income country with a GNP per capita of $3,010. Despite its natural resources, Egypt faces significant challenges related to poverty, unemployment, and economic inequality. The country relies heavily on exporting oil, gathering tourism, and Suez Canal revenues, but it struggles with high inflation rates, as the inflation rate of March 2025, 13.6%. North Korea. Facts and basic information. North Korea is located in East Asia, bordered by China and South Korea. North Korea is separated from the rest of the world by international sanctions, and the country's geographic isolation and political regime limit its engagement with global trade and foreign investment. North Korea is approximately 25 million people. The population is subject to strict government control, which overall limits their access to information from outside the country. Most citizens live under economic hardships due to the state's centralized control of the economy and limited resources. In addition, the youth in North Korea face specific challenges like forced participation in military training and ideological indoctrination. North Korea is a totalitarian dictatorship ruled by the Kim family. The regime exercises absolute control over every aspect of the population's life, including education, media, and economic activity. Political objection is harshly punished, and there is no independent political party or outstanding opposition in the country. North Korea is classified as a low-income country with a GNP per capita of $667. The country has a command economy where the government directly controls production, distribution, and trade. The nation faces extreme economic isolation due to international sanctions related to its nuclear program and government, which leads to limited trade and foreign investment. North Korea's economy is primarily based on state-run industries such as coal, steel, and military production, but it suffers from harsh inefficiency and underdevelopment.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry economic comparisons. Hello there, comrades and curious capitalists. It is I, Kim Jong-un. But today, I come to you not with nuclear news, but with the North Pole's favorite pastime, economic analysis. Ho, ho, ho. Let's take a festive sleigh ride through the natural resources, industries, and education systems of two wondrous lands, Egypt and my very own glorious North Korea. Buckle up, children. This is going to be more thrilling than riding a missile down a snowy slope. First stop, natural resources. Egypt is like Santa's gift bag. It's got a little bit of everything. From golden deserts to sparkling beaches, Egypt thrives on tourism. Then there's agriculture with delicious crops like cotton, rice, and wheat. Perfect for stuffing stockings and bellies. They've got textiles to dress up the camels, petroleum to light up the pyramids, and even construction booming like a sleigh ride over Cairo traffic. Now North Korea. Oh yes, we got mining, agriculture, textiles, and of course, military production. That's right, boys and girls. Our biggest export is, well, not exactly joy. But don't forget, sanctions are tighter than Santa's belt after cookie season. So we do what we can with what we got. Next stop, major industries. Egypt's economy is like a holiday bazaar, so many goodies. Again, we see tourism, agriculture, textiles, petroleum, and construction. That's right, they build cities and keep tourists coming faster than elves to a toy sale. Meanwhile, in North Korea, our industries are strong and loyal. We mine, we farm, we sow, and we build tanks. Although sanctions keep us from joining the global holiday market, we still produce plenty of, well, state-approved joy. Last stop on our economic sleigh ride, education. In Egypt, education is compulsory and mostly free. How delightful. No major gender differences, which Santa loves. Though rural areas do face troubles, too many kids, too few books. Now in North Korea, education is free, but also very, very state-controlled. Heavy on the ideology. Every student gets a healthy dose of Santa. Kim. Access to higher education? Oh, that depends. Have you been a loyal citizen this year? Barriers? We got a few, like restrictions, poverty, and sometimes too much propaganda for one reindeer to carry. Kim Jong Claus signing off.
Alright folks, let's talk some economics. IB economics, very high level, very smart people. I know a lot about economics, went to Wharton, okay? They teach this stuff. Elasticities, opportunity cost. I invented opportunity cost. Not really, but maybe. Who knows? Now, let's get to your first question, very important. About foreign aid. Who we give it to, North Korea or Egypt? Let me tell you, I've spoken to a lot of people about this, great people. If I had to choose, we'd give it to Egypt. No question. North Korea, come on. It's in the command economy. Very closed, no real market forces, that's not good. They've been stuck inside the production possibility curve for decades. Inside, folks, not even on the curve. And we like to be on the curve, or even better, shifting it outward. That's growth. Huge growth. Now Egypt, beautiful country. Pyramids, sand, a great canal. They got potential. Massive population, over 110 million. Very young. Median age 24. That's like startup country. But the unemployment rate is about 7.5% as of 2024, and youth unemployment is much higher. That's where I'd focus the aid. Education and infrastructure, folks. You give them vocational training, roads, maybe fiber internet, boom. You shift that long-run aggregate supply to the right. That's neoclassical growth, baby. Second question, very smart. Which country's going to grow more in the next 50 years? Look, we got a big race here. It's like capitalism versus communism all over again. Egypt, they make the right moves. I'm talking macroeconomic policy, investment capital, human capital, foreign direct investment. I'm talking about investing in the Nile River Delta, investing in solar energy. They can really take it off. They're already seeing a 4.2% GDP growth annually. If they liberalize more, they're on the way to the moon. Massive PPC outward shift potential. They just gotta move away from military control of the economy. But North Korea, not so much. They got a GDP per capita just around $700. That's nothing, folks. They spend that on golf tees. They got the resources, rare earth minerals, coal, but the government controls everything. You know, it's not like Egypt where you just have a bit of liberalism, you got a bit of military control. It's not like that. Their aggregate demand curve is flatter than a pancake, believe me. Unless they do some serious reforms. And I don't see Kim doing that, although he's a smart guy. I've met him, nice letters, but still, they're going nowhere fast. So Egypt's my pick. More trade, more openness, more private sector. That's how you get on the neoclassical growth path, okay? Final question. What should each country focus on more? North Korea? Simple. Open up. Get rid of central planning. Invite in FDI. Build a market economy. They're stuck in a Keynesian short-run trap with low output and high inflation for shortages. I mean, come on. We hold all the cards. They just gotta invest. They just gotta let us in, we can share the cards. They gotta play our game, you get some supply side reforms in there. Boom. AD and AS go right. Just like magic. Egypt, you gotta fix education and governance. I mean, they got huge population. They got beautiful people. They just gotta work on that education, North Korea, they got figured out. They got this education system. Are they teaching the right stuff? I don't know. I've spoken to Kim. He's a smart guy. I don't know so much about his people. But Egypt, they just got to work on their education system. Their corruption, super high. They also got to work on that bit. But they got to work on these central institutions, And if they really get those going, they can really shift more towards the market side economics, Education, you want to move that to low-skilled to high-skilled labor, You want to urbanize. You want to get more people working in Cairo, in these big cities, Shifts both LRAS and the PPC, brings in development, not just growth. And there you have it. That's my take. There's Egypt and North Korea for you, These are two developing countries. I'd say Egypt got the upper hand here, But that's all from the United States of America. That's all from me, your beloved President Trump. Signing off.
Hello, everyone. I am President Joe Biden, former President Joe Biden, and I'm here to take a closer look at the government systems and stability for both Egypt and North Korea. We're also discussing the role of corruption and development. Firstly is on Egypt, and their government is formally a semi-presidential republic. Oh, I used to be the president of the United States, with the president serving as the head of state and the prime minister as the head of government. However, the military holds a significant power and influence over all of these affairs. The government is known for its authoritarian approach, limiting freedoms of expression, press, and assembly. Next is on stability. Egypt has experienced a significant political instability since the 2011 revolution that ousted former President Hosni Mubarak. The revolution led to a period of democratic transition, followed by the military coup in 2013. Although the country has enjoyed some political stability ever since El-Sisi took power, the stability has come at the cost of political repression. Civil unrest still occurs regularly, and economic inequality is seen in the government policies. Next is on the corruption. Corruption in Egypt is a major obstacle. I hate corruption. American values stand completely against it, with bribery, kickbacks, and patronage systems being commonplace across the public sector. This is things that you will never see me nor my family, especially my family, ever come into. The military is specifically involved in corruption, which offers benefiting from businesses ventures and state-owned enterprises. Nextly is on North Korea. The North Korean government is a totalitarian dictatorship, with Kim Jong-un serving as the supreme leader. The Workers' Party in Korea enforces a state's ideology of self-reliance and maintains absolute control over the political system, the economy, and the media. The country is a single-party state with no political opposition. I was almost like that. I wish I never had any opposition. Next is on stability. The government in North Korea is extremely stable due to absolute power of the King family and the military. Sounds like this guy Kim Jong-un is pretty popular. I guess he's popular in the same way I was pretty popular when I was the most popularly elected president in the history of the United States. However, this stability is fragile and relies on continued loyalty of the key government officials and the military. Internal dissent is largely suppressed, and any opposition is swiftly dealt with through concentration camps and executions. Finally, is the corruption in North Korea. This corruption is rampant at all levels of government, particularly in the military and bureaucracy. Senior officials are known to accept bribes and allocate scarce resources based on loyalty to the regime rather than merit. State-owned enterprises often suffer from inefficiency and are prone to corrupt practices. Sounds like North Korea and Egypt are pretty corrupt. I would hate to go there. That's why the United States is the very best. If I were to describe United States in one word, it would be thank you.